Hello and welcome to this tutorial where we're going to be opening a virtual environment. We're going to be actually loading up packages within it and then basically getting to do some basic functionality with some of those packages. So the first thing I'm going to do is we actually want to create a Conda virtual environment. So I'm going to hit my start button, or you could do it in Apple on your Apple command button. I'm going to search for where my Anaconda prompt is. So I'm going to open that Anaconda prompt. And essentially, once we're in here, what we want to do is we actually want to create a new Python virtual environment. Okay, so we're going to Conda create name SIA Python equals 3.9, and I'll explain to you what that means very shortly. I'm going to click yes when it asks me that it wants to install those packages. So essentially, what this has done is that we've said we want to use Conda. We want to actually create, and what this create means is that we're going to create a new virtual environment. We're going to give it a name, and that name is going to be SIA. Okay, so that stands for Satellite Image Analysis. It kind of helps to have short, small names in order for you to actually not have to type out lots of characters when you're filtering through lots of different environments. And then finally, I'm going to specify that I want Python 3.9. So just think of this version basically a bit like a textbook, where you might have either major or minor differences between different editions. And you get that with your different versions of your Python programming languages or other types of platforms or programming languages. And you need them to therefore be coherent with the other packages that you're using, and that's why we're using a virtual environment to control for that heterogeneity, so there's differences across different packages and platforms. So it's still thinking about creating this environment, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of time. You'll see that it's basically asked me if I actually wanted to install so about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about 12 different packages here, okay? So it's actually quite a lot just for a basic environment, and essentially gone off to try to do that. So if it does take a little bit of time, that's fine. You can just kind of let it run. What we are able to do is, in the meantime, we're able to go to a different Anaconda prompt while that's loading in the background, and I'm just going to show you that basically here we have the path. Okay, so this is saying that we are currently within the C drive, we're in the folder users, and we're then in the folder Edward within that users folder. And then to the left-hand side here, you'll see that it says base. So what that means is that we're actually in the base virtual environment, and that means that we're actually able to change to other virtual environments if we want. So if we type Conda activate, and then we type in a different virtual environment that I know is already on this machine, then we're able to swap into that other virtual environment. Okay, so it indicates here which one we're currently in. I can do the same also over here. I'm able to go Conda activate base, and we're able to go back into that base environment that we were in. When you install new packages, you need to make sure that you're actually within the right virtual environment, okay? So that means that you need to have the right one loaded and to actually go within there to actually install what you want. Otherwise, if you're just in the base package, the base environment, or some other location, you're not going to be installing it into that virtual environment that you actually want to work within. Okay, so this is still currently loading, unfortunately. Oh, I think it's actually finished, so let's see if we can activate this. Conda activate SIA. Perfect, great. So we've managed to activate that SIA environment just here. Now what we want to do is we want to go Conda install Jupyter. Now what this is doing is it's saying, okay, go to Conda. And then we want to actually use the install function. So Conda knows that it needs to basically go off and install into the current environment whatever package name you tag on the end after those first two commands. So Conda install Jupyter would enable us to basically install Jupyter notebooks, okay? And the point of this is that we're going to be using Jupyter notebooks throughout this course as one way for us to work with code and text all in the same kind of place. And that's good for you guys because it's better than us having that spread out in multiple different locations. So it's still loading on my machine. It might take quite a long time, I reckon, to install, because we probably have almost, there might be 100 packages that needs to basically be installed before that's actually able to be run. Okay, so what that basically did was it finished, and then I was able to type in Jupyter Notebook from the location that I was in, and I was within the environment, which is satellite image analysis, and it's basically connected to Jupyter Notebook. It has a kernel up and running, and basically it's taken us to this particular location, and now we are actually able to, if we want to actually get started working with an IPython notebook. Okay, so I'm going to round it off here now that you've managed to actually get into your Jupyter Notebook environment. Well done for installing that, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.